There's this story we all hear about what happens when we get older. But what if that story is just plain wrong? What if getting older isn't about a passive decline, but about an active, really powerful choice that you get to make every single day? Well, that's exactly the choice we're digging into right now. And this quote right here, it just nails it. Look, getting older, the biological part, that's real. No one's arguing with that. But this whole idea that we have to become less important, less engaged, that's not a biological fact. It's a social surrender. It's a story we've been told and a story we can absolutely choose to stop believing. So what is this cultural script we're talking about? Well, a good way to think about it is as the slow drift. It's kind of the default path that society lays out for us after a certain age, a path of just, quietly retreating into the background. Now, here's the really sneaky part about the slow drift. It's not a big decision you make one day. Nobody wakes up and thinks, you know what, today I'm going to start becoming irrelevant. It's this subtle, slow acceptance, a slide into just consuming things to fill the hours instead of actively creating and contributing. It's the path of least resistance for sure. And this right here is so, so important. The drift can feel nice. It can feel like a rest you've earned. But it is a trap. It's a comfortable chair in a quiet room where your purpose just slowly fades away. And by choosing that comfort over a real challenge, we end up surrendering our own fire without even realizing it. So, what's the alternative? It's making a defiant choice. And let's be really clear about what that means. This isn't about pretending you're not getting older. It's not about refusing to be old. It's about refusing to be diminished. It's about drawing a line in the sand and saying, my value does not have an expiration date. And you can really see the two paths laid out here. On one side, you've got decline, which is that social surrender. It's just accepting the senior label and everything that comes with it, which is basically a retirement from life itself. But then you have defiance, and that's a declaration. That's using all that wisdom and experience as a launch pad for new challenges, for mastery, for really contributing something meaningful. But here's the thing. This defiant path isn't just some feel-good idea or a nice philosophy. It's actually backed by a whole lot of science showing that a strong sense of purpose can physically and psychologically protect us as we get older. It's like a biological shield. Researchers have a name for this. They call it a psychological anchor. And it's a great term for it. A powerful purpose acts as this stabilizing force. So when life throws its biggest curveballs at you, health problems, losing a partner, the end of a career, that purpose gives you a reason to get up, a reason to stay in the game and to keep pushing forward. It literally shields your well-being. So where does this purpose even come from? Well, studies on older adults point to these key drivers over and over again. It's about feeling needed, contributing to something bigger than yourself. It's about deep relationships and belonging to a community. It's having the freedom to grow and learn new things. And it's about seeing your life as a single, coherent story and really focusing on what you can still do, not what you can't. And these drivers aren't just random either. They're actually grounded in a really powerful psychological framework called self-determination theory. It basically says that all humans, no matter how old they are driven by three core needs: autonomy, the need to feel in control of our lives; competence, the need to feel effective and overcome challenges; and relatedness, the need for real, deep connections with other people. And guess what? Those needs do not have an expiration date. Okay, so knowing the science is one thing, but actually putting it into practice, that's a whole other ballgame. So here's a simple but really powerful framework for living that defiant life, for twisting the throttle instead of just coasting to a stop. It breaks down into three pretty memorable steps: the incision, the blueprints, and the hardware. Let's quickly walk through what each of those means. Okay, first step, the incision. This is a conscious, decisive move. It's like you're performing surgery on your own mindset, literally cutting away that old social script of decline. You're actively rejecting the cultural expectation that you're just supposed to slow down. Next up is the blueprint. So once you've cut away that old script, you've got to write a new one, right? This is all about designing a future-focused identity. It is not about who you used to be or clinging to old accomplishments. It's about defining yourself by the person you are becoming right now. And finally, we have the hardware. I mean, a blueprint is totally useless if you can't actually build the thing. This is the practical, boots-on-the-ground work. It's intentionally building up your mental and physical strength, the capacity you need to actually carry out your mission.
Your capacity is your defiance. It's the engine that's going to power your purpose. So when you look at it this way, the choice becomes crystal clear. It really leads to one of two completely different fates, two totally different ways of living out these later chapters of life. So let's just put them side by side and see how they stack up. Just look at the contrast here. The defiant silver soul commands their own value through what they contribute. The drifting senior just kind of waits for other people to decide if they're still useful. One sees the clock as a chance for maturity, for sharpening the blade. The other feels like an expiration date is just around the corner. Daily life is either about twisting the throttle or just passively passing the time. And maybe most critically, your health is either shielded by the resilience of purpose or made vulnerable by the lack of it.
Which brings us all the way back to this one final, really crucial question. It cuts through everything else we've talked about. Is your identity rooted in the past, in what you did, or is it being forged right now in what you are doing today and the challenges you're taking on for tomorrow? At the end of the day, that choice, well, that's entirely up to you.